Hey you guys, welcome. Vacay Mode Travels here. I am Sarah, that is Alden, and we have a great topic for you today. We're going to switch it up a little bit, so excited to see what you think.
Yes, the focus is still going to be on destination weddings, but we're going to look at it from the point of view from the guests. What can they expect? Let's say you've just been invited to a destination wedding, you don't know what to expect. How does this work? That's really one of the main questions we get from the guests. How does this process work? And there's so much to go through, what the airport process is. Maybe it's your first passport. What to expect as far as the events once you get there. What should I be bringing? There's a lot of elements to it. We're not going to dive into all of that. We're just going to keep it very simple today and just a general overview if you're invited to a destination wedding.
Yes, so the first topic is going to be what to wear to a destination wedding. This is one of the most common questions that we hear from destination wedding guests is, I don't even know what to wear. Maybe you've never left the country. Maybe you haven't been to the area that you're visiting for the wedding. And so we're going to give you some tips on what to wear. If it's a beach wedding, think light, breathable fabrics. So women, flowy dresses, guys, linen shirts. You can also do dressy sandals, tend to work very beautifully. They're easy to get on and off, especially with the sand. But leave flip-flops and tank tops at home. They don't belong at the destination wedding events. If the destination wedding is on an island, you could do bright tropical colors. This is really just going to enhance that natural beauty of the location. And bonus, they look really great in photos too. The general rule here is if you wouldn't wear it to a nice dinner or a ceremony back home, don't wear it here. So keep things polished, you don't want anything, too drastic that sticks out. Obviously, we're going to avoid wearing white. That is always a no-go at weddings, especially at a destination wedding.
Unless they have a certain dress code that they're following and it might be all white, something like that.
Like a welcome dinner is common to do like a white party, but for the ceremony, reception itself, don't be that person that wears white. It is the bride's special day. It is the couple's special day. Let them have the spotlight. Yeah. If you really want to stand out, do jewel tones, bold colors, corals, turquoise, mustard yellows, depending on your skin tone can make for some fabulous choices. So just a couple of tips there on what to wear.
Yep. With the fellas, the only thing I'll say, if you have that one bright, colorful Hawaiian style shirt in the closet, that fits in perfectly in a lot of these beach destinations that are lush, works perfect. Let's get into the destination wedding guest cost. What can you expect as a guest to spend while going to this? Remember, it's not just a wedding celebration, but it is a vacation in part for you. It is customary that you're going to cover your own travel and accommodations, and that is just across the board what we see. On average, guests will spend $2,000 per person, $2,000 to $3,000 per person on resort stays and airfare. It can fluctuate depending on where you're coming from. Most wedding groups like to stay around 3-4 days. There might be a minimum night stay depending on the resort, but you're definitely there. You don't want to be there ideally the night before. Try to get in and settled before the actual wedding day, long enough to celebrate, and then maybe sneak in some pool time or just go enjoy the resort. And again, the only thing I'll add to that is if you haven't been to this area or you just love this area, if you want to convert this into kind of a split stay and maybe extend elsewhere on your own, hey, we're going to be in Cancun, but I want to go check out Tulum, for example, nothing wrong with that. A lot of guests opt to do that. You've already spent on the airfare, why not extend beyond the wedding day? If the couple is covering those costs, like rooms and excursions, they'll likely let you know up front, let you know what costs you can expect.
Exactly. Next, we're going to talk about some etiquette, 101s, what to do, what not to do when it comes to a destination wedding, because a lot of people don't realize there are a lot of similarities when you're having a wedding in your home location, but there's also a lot of differences. So let's talk about some of those. Some of the things that you want to do. First thing, RSVP early. When we're planning a destination wedding, as you can imagine, there are a lot of details with timelines. There's room blocks involved. The couples have to release rooms back to the hotel by a certain date. So RSVP early and let them know if you plan to be there. When we set up a destination wedding group room block, there's gonna be a period of time for you to pay that reservation in full. You usually will have to place a small deposit up front, maybe $200 to reserve your room, and then you'll have 6 months to a year, depending on how far the wedding is, to pay off that balance. And you can pay that in installments if you want. You can wait and pay it all at the end, however you want to do it. So that would be my
Bridal couples
one of
love
the
that.
things there.
Bridal couples love RSVP early. They really appreciate that. Get those invites back. You know, if you're on the fence, we get it, life happens. Try to get those in as soon as possible. Second, do send a gift. Even if you can't attend, you know, it's really appreciated. It's very thoughtful of somebody, you know, if they are in destination, maybe try to send it to where they're going to get married in Mexico. That's just not going to make sense. Send it to their home address so that when they get back, they'll have that waiting for them. It's just a very thoughtful gift. Even a letter, some kind to follow up, even with a phone call, always appreciated.
One tip I'm going to give is a little specific to just weddings in general, but opt for travel protection, because especially if you're on the fence or you're not sure if you're going to be able to go, travel protection is going to be a way for you to have options after the final payment date or as we get closer to the wedding. So if you know up front, maybe you have an elderly grandparent that wants to go and they're worried about their health or their mobility, opt for travel protection. Just save yourself the peace of mind, because that is a time-based thing. You can't necessarily add all travel protection policies, you know, as you get closer. They typically are added within a week of your reservation to ensure you get the most coverage on that policy.
That's a great point, because a lot of these invites are going to go out at least 6 months to a year out. Who knows what position you're going to be in to go or not go. And, you know, we get it. A lot of people say, yeah, I'll be there. And then something comes up. Life happens, things change, and a lot of that flexibility, like Sarah said, is really difficult to make changes to your reservation. If you don't have any coverage, you can forfeit your deposit or the entirety of your stay. So definitely worth doing.
And just to be clear, you can typically make changes up until final payment, but since final payment can be 3 to 4 months before the wedding day, after that it can get more difficult. So that's just a little bonus tip. Another tip for you guys is respect the local culture and customs. A little research goes a long way, and this is really where we are your advocates. When we work with destination wedding couples, they hire us not only to help them with the wedding planning, but to help you and help you guys feel comfortable and confident for your travels abroad. Every destination has strict rules as far as customs and passports, and even some places with vaccines or certain requirements. We're going to make sure that you guys are informed and educated of all of that. So when you book in the room block, you're going to get reminders from us and notifications, and it's going to help you be prepared. Also, one of the benefits of making sure that we do this as a group and we keep everybody tied together.
Yeah, it'll make that process a lot more seamless getting there. It's just a better overall experience. If you kind of just take a few minutes, take a look at what the local culture is, and we're going to give you a lot of info.
And another tip that we would give for destination wedding guests as far as etiquette is book in your destination wedding couple's room block. They have this room block for a lot of reasons. The room block is set up so you have guaranteed pricing and you're not getting, you know, varied rates. You're not hit with unknown costs when you arrive, like resort fees. All of that you're aware of up front. With the room block too, it does also help the couple with the wedding planning side. When you're booking in the room block, we have an accurate guest count of how many people are going to be at that wedding. We are going to reach out and make sure you don't have any dietary restrictions. If you do, we're going to handle that with all of the meals and make sure that is prearranged. We're going to make sure the wedding group is roomed close to each other as much as we can with the resort. We are gonna just take all that information and it keeps it all tied together. When you book outside of the room block, you're making things a lot more difficult for your wedding couple. Now they have to chase people down and see where did you go and how many people, and otherwise you might end up without a seat at the wedding event itself. So if you're booking out of the room block, keep in mind you are gonna be on your own. You're not gonna have that support. You're not gonna have that assistance, making sure that you're ready for everything. And you are gonna hurt the couple financially. They have invested in putting a deposit down to make sure that they have those rooms available to you. So be kind to your wedding couple and book in their room block. Or talk to us if you have a reason or a concern about doing so.
The only thing I'll add to that is if something does come up, like Sarah said, it's really difficult for us to advocate at all. There is a lot more weight and things that we can do for you if you are within that room block. As far as the hotel goes, we let them know, hey, they are part of a big, large wedding group here. We need to make this right, whatever it is. And it's just much more difficult if you're outside of that room block. let's go into, those are the things to do. Let's go into the things to not do. Don't do these things.
Yes, don't arrive late to events. Timelines are carefully planned. In a lot of scenarios, couples have very limited windows. You know, they may have the venue blocked off for an hour for the ceremony, so if people are running late, it can throw off the events. It also is a distraction. You know, if you're walking in late to the ceremony, that is not going to be well received by your wedding couple as they're standing up there giving their vows. It's a distraction. So arrive promptly to these events. One thing we will do with all of our wedding couples is we will list out all of the events on the wedding website. It will have where it is, what time it is. General rule of thumb, show up at least 5 minutes early.
Yes. Second thing not to do, don't overindulge. And there's some people out there that know me that would say I'm the last person to be talking about overindulging. Yes, it is a vacation, but just remember you're still a guest at the wedding. There's going to be a place and time for that, you know, either beforehand at a welcome dinner or after the wedding, or maybe even later in the night. Just remember there are some events that are going to take place, speeches, dances, you know, going to be going on. So at least keep it till later in the night. Don't overindulge if at all possible.
And this last one has a little bit of a caveat to it, but it is, don't forget your camera. You're going to want these photos. Now, the reason I say that's with a caveat is we are seeing a growing trend this year where a lot of couples are asking for an unplugged, at least ceremony. They want their guests fully present in the moment, listening. They don't want the distraction of people taking photos and up and down. And so they really just want that to be an intimate and private experience. So that's kind of the caveat with that. One thing that we do for all of our wedding groups is we open up a photo circle. And this allows all of the guests, the bridal couple, everybody to share their photos. And it's great because then the wedding couple they're not worried about their camera. They don't have to think about it, but they can still see all of those candid moments that you guys were able to capture.
Yes. And that'll segue us to what to pack for a destination wedding. Besides those dressy outfits and all that, what else are you going to be bringing in your suitcase? What to bring? Some just everyday essentials. Keep in mind the time of year also. If it's really warm, if there's a chance of rain, keep that in mind. Toiletries, medications, chargers. Most of Mexico does use the same charger port that the U.S. does, so no big concern there. Sunglasses, a hand fan. Many people might not be accustomed to the Mexico heat. And if you're sitting, you know, for a wedding event, a hand fan can go a long way.
Yes, obviously your passport, don't forget that. That's really important. Boarding pass and your wedding invite. Just so you have all those details, I would recommend just keeping the QR code that you get with the invite because that will take you to the page where it has all of the wedding events and information.
Yep. Sunscreen, a big must. Again, the Mexico sun is no joke. Bug spray, not always applicable, but when you really wish when you need it, you wish you had it.
Yes.
And then a reusable water bottle. You should be sucking, like I said, some of these places in Mexico can get hot. You should be sucking down a lot of water. Water is going to be readily available for you at the resort, but it's always nice to have one just in case you don't have access to it, or you're in a private area where there's just not water available for sale.
Yes, if you have a gift for the bridal couple, you know, don't forget to bring that as well. So, and you guys pack all the important items like your medications, the invites, valuables, and even an extra set of clothes in your carry-on, just in case. You never know, sometimes luggage gets lost, it gets delayed, it makes a little, you know, it takes the scenic route. Yeah. And so have an extra change of clothes in your carry-on bag, just in case that happens, then you at least have a clean pair of clothes to get into.
Yes, we hope you have found this helpful. If you're considering a destination wedding in Mexico or the Caribbean or anywhere, reach out to us. We would love to make that happen.
And we know a destination wedding can be a little bit overwhelming if it's your first time. If you have questions, post them in the comments. We are more than happy to help you guys. Hope you have a great rest of the week.
Safe travels.